so much, Olga. And thank you, everybody, for staying for I heard, the last panel of the day. I hope I can get your full attention and full energy because this is definitely going to be very, very interesting and hopefully very, very useful talk. I see a lot of non-Filipinos here, and if we talk Filipinos, it's a very, very hot market for Web3 and gaming in general. So I'm very, very happy to welcome some of the most notable names in the Web3 and gaming industry here locally. So please give a round of applause for three key members of YGGPH. We have John Sedano, Steffi Bergado, and Jenna Ilao. Hello, guys. Good afternoon.
Good
All right. So, like I said, we are in the presence of some of the experts in the Filipino gaming community and onboarding Filipinos in Web3 and gaming. So, I guess before we start and delve right into the meat of the topic, I'd love to hear more about each of you and also how you guys got into gaming and Web3. So, John?
Yeah, sure. I guess I could start. So, hey guys, my name is John Sedano, and I am the campaign director for YGG. And I started with Web3 games back in 2020 at the height of Axie Infinity. I was just a normal bloke like everyone else. But when I heard about the opportunities that gaming, blockchain, cryptocurrencies provide, then I didn't, take a second look and jumped in right in on the hype. And here we are. We are building the biggest Web3 gaming organization in the world, reaching as many people in the Philippines and third world countries and providing as much as economic opportunities for those who wouldn't normally get a chance to.
Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Steffi. I'm the social media manager of YGG Pilipinas and a KOL of YGG Pilipinas as well. So I started being on the Web3 industry during the time of Axie Infinity back in 2022. So I was a streamer back then and as a scholar. And then my boss here, Jan Sedano, discovered me to be one of the community helper of the YGG Global, Guild Games. And then eventually I was acquired of the YGG Pilipinas as the social media manager. I was actually the fruit of onboarding, really onboarding of the Web3 gamers in the Philippines.
Okay, hi guys. So I'm Jenna Ilao. I'm the product lead of Web3 Metaversity. So I started out in Web3 almost same time as Sedano, but 2021. I really came from the Web2 industry. So I came from Mineski, an event servicer or an agency for events. But I got discovered by Fee. So I think an interesting thing that my mentor told me was in looking for your next job, like why don't you get into the future already, which is Web3. That's why I chose YGG.
Got it. And I mean, I'm hearing, I think from the two of you at least, no, na Axie really played a big role, or at least was a part of your onboarding and your journey into Web3, right? And I'm not sure if the people in the audience know this, but actually at the height of Axie, around 35% of the traffic and a majority of its 2.5 million DAU were actually from the Philippines. And I want to say that a big part of that was really brought about by YGGPH. So why do you think Filipinos are so open to digital adoption and Web3? And what are the unique factors that you think must be present, or what challenges do these projects and games need to address to be able to capture the Filipino attention?
Maybe I'd say a big factor would be that the Philippines is fluent in English, and most of the fastest growing technologies are written in English. So it's a very opportunistic country where different companies can test the waters of how their products will react, what can work, what cannot work. But at the same time, the Philippines also, we love gaming. right? Not only mobile games, online games, PC games, but gaming in general. So I think those two pieces just really make a good mix. At the same time that we are a developing country, and we are a low income country at the same time. So projects that have marketing budgets to spend mean a lot for lower income class people and gamers in the country. So yeah, I think it's just the right timing, and the Philippines is prime for this kind of technology. That's what I would say.
Got it. So you're saying that the Filipinos are very susceptible or very, very open to the different marketing initiatives that these games have, especially, being a developing country. We're very open to that. That's how Axie was able to kind of capture our hearts. Okay, Steffi?
Yeah, so maybe this is something I really can relate because I was one of the 35% of the Web3 gamers in the Axie Infinity. So I really started as a gamer. So maybe one thing that it's very important or unique trait of the Filipino gamers is we really love gaming. Even before the Axie Infinity boom, during the pandemic, we were all playing all kinds of games. Like I became a streamer of a game because those were the days that all of the people are spending their time online. Filipino gamers, like you can see streamers have 200,000 viewers for Mobile Legends. Even the tournaments all have like million viewers. So it's really the love for gaming. And as Filipino Web3 gamers, that's why we are very, easy to onboard and we really love playing games.
Yeah. I mean, to add, I think they said a lot. But another thing other than gaming is I think Filipinos are fast learners. Like, if you just speak the right language, in terms of messaging, like what Sedano said, in terms of marketing initiatives, like in YGG, I think that's something we do well. That's why we get to onboard more community members as we go through different provinces. Is because I think we capture the right messaging for the right people, which captures more members for us. Another thing is, like what I said, they're fast learners. So if you explain it the way they understand things, that's why they're digital natives, right? These Gen Z people actually learn more and they learn faster. So that's one thing in Web3 Metaversity. I noticed that these people, like 14 years old to 16 years old, they're actually quick learners. They're actually quicker than me. So when we teach something new, in one class, they'll understand it. So it's really amazing to see how, I mean, the digital age is starting to unfold before our eyes, right? So yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Jenna said. So maybe a lot of you guys don't know that our native language, Tagalog, in the Philippines isn't what's most spoken around the Philippines. Actually, it's actually English. Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely with what Steffi, Jenna, and John said, you guys are really great at capturing, knowing what the gamers are into, what they're interested in, and the kind of like localizing that to this market, right? And so moving on, no, one more thing that I would say YGG is very known for is beyond just online engagement. They're very well known to actually understand the value of grassroots community building, like no other guild or organization in the space. Like for example, this year alone, YGG is doing one of its biggest on-ground activation, the YGG road trip, taking Web3 to, I believe, 6 different key locations in the Philippines. So, John, as one of the key leads for this project, could you tell us more about the road trip and walk us through what unique advantages you see in these in-person engagements versus doing community building just online?
Yeah, sure. So in YGG, our job mainly is connecting the games with the gamers while providing the proper education and tools, right? And what we're doing is we're bringing YGG and our partnered games through the biggest cities in the country for those who won't be able to travel to Manila, right? So it's us introducing Web3 games, crypto, NFTs on a grassroots level to the different communities who might not necessarily be interested in Web3 directly, but might be interested in similar technologies like, trading card games, hobbyists, cosplay, anime, streaming, content creation. And what we are doing is directly connecting with the leaders of these different sub communities and pooling them together and bringing them and onboarding them into Web3 as bigger communities through YGG. And I think that's where our brand separates from any other Web3 gaming organization in the world, is because we are community first and we are technology ready. And yeah, we're ready for mass adoption.
Actually, I've been to the YGG road trip myself, and it's really like a mix of, like, you don't expect the people you see on ground. It's really a mix of gamers, but also students, people who haven't even really played a Web3 game before but are interested. You also have content creators, cosplayers, so really a very vibrant community. And with that, Steffi, I wanted to ask, you personally as a content creator and the social media manager of YGG, how do you see content creation to be able to address and specific challenges in onboarding, and how are you able to see that connection come to life? Because I'm sure you've also been in the road trip, right? And I also want to understand, like, I guess from online to offline as well, how do you see your content creation and your community building online translating on ground?
Yeah, okay. So, first, social media is really important. Not just to YG Pilipinas, but to all the Web3 games, even Web2 games, it's to have awareness, to let the people know that you have this fun events, and to have just to really to build a social media presence. So I think one of the challenges is to let the people know that we have this event, especially on the complicated platforms like Discords, online. Like, we have community activations to keep our community engaged, like Crypto Fiesta, Together We Play, and those kind of, like, Discord is really complicated. There are processes for you to be there. So that's where social media comes in. So let the people know that we have these fun events, and keep the people engaged. Now, for as a content creator, it is our role to keep the community engaged, like to make connections with our community, and you show genuine emotions when you create content, because the people, the community, YG Filipinas community will relate to you, and then they will be engaged. Now, for the IRL events, that's where we see our friends in real life, because at the end of the day, the retention, that one of the challenges as well, is we address that to building friendships. So that's why YGG Filipinas have gone through the pool. We've been into the pool because our friends in YG, my friends are still in the YGG. That's why we keep playing the games.
Got it. Just to double click on what you said, I'm personally curious. Do you have like little tidbits or tips in terms of building like a social media presence in the Philippines? Like, what types of content are more like Filipinos more interested to kind of consume? You were saying like being authentic. I feel like maybe the audience would like to hear more about like your personal experience in building a following here.
Yeah, so maybe one thing I can share is I created content on Pixels online. Like, even after the airdrop, I wasn't able to get the airdrop, but I played the game because I really love it. It's something that really enjoys me, and that's why it shows in my videos that I am really happy, and that translates to my audience as well. Now, for the social media content, as a social media manager, it is important to know the tone of your community, like the YGG Pilipinas. During our Discord, we have Crypto Fiesta, right? And people are starting to create stories in there, or there are memes in there. And then you use that content. So when the people saw your content, oh, I know that. I've experienced that during our Crypto Fiesta. So it's really important to know the tone and to find a way how you can relate to your audience and to your community, Filipino community.
Thank you. Yeah, so beyond gaming and beyond community experiences, I know YGGPH is very, very big on education, teaching its guild members, its community, how to play these games, onboarding them into the space, helping them navigate the complications of Web3. And so I want to bring this question to Jenna. I know you are heading the Web3 University, Web3 Metaversity initiative. I want to know, can you tell us more about it and how it's working to onboard more people for not just gaming, but beyond the just being gamers in the space?
Okay, so Web3 Metaversity is actually the educational pillar or the arm of YGG. So we do believe in the education thrust because in the Philippines, I think it's important to keep these people knowledgeable about like what types of assets you should download or be into and stuff like that. So other than that, we actually piloted the Marshall program this year. Since last we were kind of just like a production type of team. So we would make reels and like podcasts and stuff like that. So we wanted to go back to our roots, and that's grassroots. So how do we help our community members? Since the Axie Scholar model was kind of like, it's kind of just gone now, right? Like, how do we push that? And like, how do we actually create a scholarship model that's not just based on games? So that's why we created the Marshall program. We actually do it for the YGG community as well as Sisters of Mary. So actually, Jem's here. He taught for Sisters of Mary, but it's a full circle moment because he came from there too. So it's kind of amazing to see like the worlds connect. But yeah, more about it is that we're trying to educate these marshals, we call them marshals, to fulfill their job, dream job. Like if they're into gaming, if they're into Web3, if they're into crypto, like how do we help them navigate or be the stepping stone into that dream job? So we want to future-proof them, of course, since it's becoming the digital era, right? Like how do we help them get into the digital age without forcing content and forcing like learning tools as well. So yeah, I think simply that's Web3 Metaversity for you guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, right? So a lot of us might be thinking, so okay, like Web3 Metaversity and YGG has an online course. So how is that different from anyone who has the knowledge? That's where YGG, the global company, comes in. YGG is currently the leading Web3 guild protocol in this space. And what that means for education is that we are creating on-chain reputational systems for people who undergo these programs. Let's say, for example, that you finish a course that has something to do with game development. You'll be given an NFT in the form of a soul-bound token that will be imprinted on your crypto wallet. And in the future, 5 years from now, when we have thousands and thousands of people all around the world using the YGG primitive and the YGG protocol, then it will be easier for companies in Web3 and the future of what the gaming industry will be to onboard talent, because now we know that these guys went through these different courses, have achieved these different types of work. Maybe you're an esports player, maybe you're a content creator, and yeah, it lives on chain, and that's what YGG is building as of this moment.
Let me just add, sorry. I think a main thing about it as well is it's all free. So we really handpick the people who join because we want the people who are passionate about Web3 since everything's for free. So even the marshals who come with us, for example, in the 6 provinces, we practically pay for all their airfare. So that's kind of just like their extra credit in their class that they're actually volunteers too. So yeah.
Got it. Just to summarize that, I think it's such a great initiative. Just because what Sedano said, you guys are actually utilizing blockchain inherently with all the credentialing system, which will then help these students kind of transcend the YGG ecosystem. Like even if I'm not, say, hiring for YGG, I can just look at their on-chain activity and I can verify that they went through all these courses, that they're a fit for what I'm looking for. And really, what I really liked about what you said was ultimately, you guys are creating new jobs. Like, these jobs weren't present 2-3 years ago, right? And suddenly there's this whole new space, and you're helping a community of interested learners to navigate this new industry. So kudos to YGGPH. Just give them a round of applause, guys. Super good job. And a product, I believe, of Web3 Metaversity is right here. Please say hi. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
So
Okay.
yeah, Gem actually is a product of one of the schools that we've been working in Web3 Metaversity, right? So now he is embedded in the Web3 industry in the Philippines. He's leading a lot of initiatives, a very popular volunteer amongst Web3 events in the country. And yeah, it just comes to show that, talent in Web3 is there, and they are ripe, and they just need the right guidance and the right systems to go through to be able to be equipped for the rest of the Web3 world.
Yeah, excited to see more talent come out of Web3 Metaversity. So just to move beyond just the more technical or deeper parts of this interview, I wanted to just lightly ask, what your personal favorite part or parts of the on-ground or road trip experience? I'm sure like getting to meet the community, all of that, a lot of stories come up, right? So I'd love to hear like maybe your personal experiences, your favorite parts of the road trip. Yeah, feel free to share.
I guess I can start. Yeah, since I'm super involved with Metaversity, like I talk to all the sisters, all the students, like I joined the classes. It was super nice to see them to come to the road trip in Cebu. So they came so early. They came like around 10 a.m. So as soon as the mall opened, and they left when the mall closed. So, it was quite funny kasi nagsusungit na si sister na. She was saying, oh, we were supposed to leave at 6 p.m. but the students wants to stay. So, it was super fun to see them enjoy. They have limited screen time. So, I think what touched our hearts more is more of like they can actually play with us because we do like game showcases and stuff. So, they don't get to play games that much. It was nice to see them enjoy other than just study because their extracurricular activities are usually just like basketball, volleyball, stuff like that. So I don't think they have the enough tools to actually like play games or use social media. So it was nice. Another thing is we have an intern, si Bibs. So he was going around with us in Cebu. I think he was in Davao as well. So he came with us, and his dad was actually resharing everything that he would do. So it was super cute. Like, it was like proud dad moment. Si Bibs nandito, ganyan, ganyan. So it was super cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, one of my favorite parts of the road trip is meeting my, guild members in Silphi Academy, and at the same time, get to see the Web3 games in their booths and to try them as well. But maybe my most favorite one is being able to work in real life with my YG Filipinas team because we've been working, online for how many months, and like just being to learn a lot from them in real life or on ground. It's a very nice experience to me. Like having them like my friends. We only do Discord every night, but then you get to laugh with them on ground. So that's my favorite part.
Yeah, just real quick. Like for me, really, it's introducing Web3, blockchain, and maybe even some aspects of AI to new people. For them to discover that this thing exists, and this will be the future. Why am I not part of this yet? So having that, that eureka moment, seeing that in their eyes, that for me, that's the most rewarding parts of introducing this to them.
So I really hope you guys can visit one of the YGG events because it's really something. We talk about it, but seeing it and experiencing it firsthand is a whole other feeling entirely. And seeing these players are technically numbers on the screen, profile names on the screen, but when you see them on ground, like it's a very eye-opening experience for sure. So to wrap things up, we've been talking about onboarding a lot, right? How to onboard these gamers, how to attract them. I want to close things off and ask, why do you think it's important for projects and games to onboard Filipinos? What value do they bring different, you would say, from other markets? And more than onboarding, how do you retain and keep Filipinos engaged in your project and games?
I'd say, it really goes back to the culture. Filipinos are very well, family oriented. And as long as you provide a platform for a community that feels like family, then, the rest becomes easy, right? I mean, in a family, you feel safe, you are educated, and also you are given opportunities for you to grow. And I think, on a fundamental level, that's what the YGG family presents to the rest of the world. It might not, it might be intimidating at first, getting into a new kind of technology, but that's what our job really is, to make sure that we are that stepping stone and you not get misdirected or misguided with, there are a lot of pitfalls, a lot of misinformation in the industry. And one thing that YGG is really, really proud of is that our brand exudes that kind of aura to newcomers in this space. And we are there, we are ready to collaborate, we are ready to work, and we are ready to onboard more and more millions, not if not even billions of people into this space. YGG is a family, that's what I'm going to be saying.
Well, in addition to Sir Sedano, Filipino gamers are young gamers. So we are very interested to try new things, to experience new things. And at the same time, we may not be the biggest, or but we are the realest. The realest gamers you can. Like
We're not bots.
you're not bots. And you can see
You should put that in a shirt, on a shirt. I die. We're not bots.
and you can see like for example YGG, you can see gamers climbing the leaderboards, like really putting efforts for these games, and at the same time buying iPods like Sir Spracky just to play the game smoothly. Me, Sil, Ruth, we are really into the game itself, not just typical sign up. Yeah, so I think that's the reason why games should onboard Filipino gamers.
I think another thing about Filipinos is that they're very hardworking. So I think it goes back to what Sedano said about the family. Not just that the family is their guild, but they want to provide. So I think a lot of our marshals are shining examples for that. Because, like, for example, Bibbs, through Axie, he actually got to make his sister study. So, like, they have this motivating force to provide for their family, which is kind of like a good thing because as a gamer, number one, you enjoy it. Number two, you can provide. So, like, what else can you say, right? And for retention, I think it really goes back to culture. Like, why do you want to hang out with these people every night online, right? It's because you love them. Like, you want to hang out with them. You love talking to them. So I think it's that simple as well. I think it goes back to what I said about the language. As long as you actually know your message, you know your mission in creating your community or your guild, I think it'll last a lifetime.
And with that, I think we can end the panel. But before anything else, I do want to give you guys an opportunity to plug or share how they can be a part of such great initiatives, right? So if they want to be a part of Road Trip, Metaversity, or what social media channels to follow, please feel free to use this time to
Yeah,
invite.
sure, a good start. So aside from the current Philippine tour that YGG is doing, we are actually building it up to the biggest Web3 gaming conference in the world, and it's happening here in the Philippines. That's going to be in November 18 to 22 in Bonifacio Global City. We are going to be bringing the biggest Web3 game developers, the biggest gaming studios, the biggest content creators, all of the best talent in Web3 to the Philippines and connecting them with the rest of the world. So that's happening here. We hope you guys can make it. Our announcements will be coming out soon. So once again, the YGG Web3 Play Summit will be happening this year in November. So we hope to see you there.
Now you can see us on YGG Filipinas page, both on Facebook and Twitter, as well as YGGPH Road Trip for our road trip events, and YGG Alerts, one of the number one biggest news Web3 outlet in the Philippines.
Sorry, it's in the world. We're the
It's
biggest
in the world. I'm so sorry.
Okay, for Web3 Metaversity, you can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. All free content. If you guys want to join the Marshall program, our next season is actually this August or September. So yeah, just join our Discord, YGGPH, and you'll be good.
All right. Well, thank you again very much for all the insights and the stories. I enjoyed. I hope you guys did too. And I think that concludes our panel for today. Let's give a round of applause again to our panelists.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, guys.